OI is a vowel team that says oi, oi, as in oil, coil, toil, coin, and you're going to see it mostly in the middle of words, sometimes at the beginning, usually in short words, usually in the middle, sometimes at the beginning, and usually in short words. You're never going to see it at the end. Like you'll never see boy spelled that way because English words don't end in I, only hi. So next time you come, sneak peek, you're going to learn that OY says oi at the end. OI says oi at the beginning and in the middle. So let's practice this. I'm sorry if I don't get to some raised hands here. If you have a question, I would love for you to just drop it in the chat for me. That'll be easier. All right, let me share my screen. All right, let's start annotating. I just love reading class. So fun. It just makes everything so logical, doesn't it? We just are learning, figuring out why words are spelled the way they are. And so they're no longer mysterious. They're very clear. Once somebody just tells you why, then you can get it. Okay, so here's our OI that says oi. That's our new reading hack for the day. Oi. Now this is a review sound. When O is almost to the end of a longer word and there's a consonant after it, it says is the schwa sound, which is represented by an upside down E. Is the schwa sound, and O changes to the schwa sound and says when it's almost to the end of a longer word and there's a consonant at the end, or 2 or 3 consonants. So our sounds are d, oi, p, doi, pum, doi, pum, doi, pum. Go ahead and try yours over here. I'm not going to mark this every time, but it sounds like a long O and a long E. Oi, oi. Okay. Fatima, the extra practice answers are now in your modules for you. Okay, so let's do our vowel sounds first. When we read the vowels first. When we spell the vowels last. So first for our OI, it's oi. And this O that is almost to the end of a longer word, longer meaning more than one vowel that don't touch. And there's a consonant at the end, it says changes to that schwa sound, represented by an upside down E. So our sounds are t, oi, p, toy pum, toy pum. Now you'll notice it wasn't spelled like this. You probably know how to spell the word toy, but that's not how I spelt that part of the word in this word. I didn't spell this syllable as a T-O-Y. Why? Because O-Y is reserved for the end of words, like in this word, toy. O-Y is at the end of toy, but this isn't the end of the word, so we use a O-I for the middle. Okay, number 2. Here's our O-I, oi. Now here is our O consonant, final silent E. When that happens, the O makes its long sound and says O. It follows the tap 2 rule. So we have p, oi, n, d, o, p. Now do you see that this O doesn't say like this one does? because the last letter has to be a consonant, and here the last letter is a vowel. So if that O has another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, it has to say its name and say O. This one, if it had an O here, an E here, it would have said doipome, doipome. But if you get rid of that, now it's just doipum. So here we have per, proi, proin, proind, proindo, proindope, proindope. This P-R-O-I sound is kind of difficult to pronounce, but you can do it if you force your mouth to make the right shape. Proindope. All right, go ahead and try yours. Lily, that's a good comment. I'll address that. Okay, so in this word, did I give you enough time? They'll give you another couple seconds here. So we have this OI that says oi. This O is going to say O because there's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. The sounds are t, oi, n, s, t, o, b. Tur, Troy, Troin, Troins, Troinst, Troinstow, Troinstobe, Troinstobe. Matt, your mouth is doing all sorts of maneuvers on that word, isn't it? It's making all sorts of shapes. Troinstobe. Let me know in the chat if you got Troinstobe on your own without me. Y or N for yes or no. Good. Oh my goodness, look at that. What? Well done, Joseph. That's amazing. I had somebody mention that I feel like I'm getting better at reading your words, which is good, but I'm still slow on regular words. That is probably shouldn't be very surprising because you're adults and you have fallen into a pattern of survival mode when you look at a lot of words on a page and your brain goes into panic and guess and survive and just get to the end of the sentence without making a fool out of yourself in public. Those are some of the patterns that we're breaking by doing nonsense words. You are learning, you're teaching your brain, you're teaching your subconscious that you do know how to do this, but it's going to take a little bit of time to transfer over into the real world because those are the habits that have been so ingrained over the years or decades that it's going to take just a little bit of trust. Your conscious has to trust your subconscious that you do know how to do that, and then those barriers will get to be broken down a little bit more as time goes on, and it might be hard to measure that progress initially, but someday you'll be like, oh, look at that, that is so much easier than it used to be. So yeah, that is not an uncommon thing to have happen. All right, let's try number 3. So this OI is our new reading hack for the day. It says oi, and O at the end says O, always. O at the end says O, always. So our sounds are p, l, oi, s, o, ploiso, ploiso. Again, that's with that oi, it's so hard to wrap your mouth around all of the sounds and get them said correctly, but it is possible if we just control the shape of our mouth. All right, go ahead, try yours. Good, Nadia. Just takes practice. Practice makes progress, not perfection, right? Okay, so we have this OI that's saying oi here. That's how the oi sound is spelled at the beginning and middle of words. And then the O at the end says O, always. So our sounds are f, oi, m, p, o. Froimpo. Froimpo. It's so hard to say, isn't it? Froimpo. This oi sound is just a tricky one for our mouths to form the sound of. Froimpo. All right, let's try number 4. So here we have a oi. Here we have a ah. How do I know that that says ah? Because there are 2 consonants after it. When an O has 2 consonants after it, it doesn't matter if they're the same. As long as it's 2, it says ah. And then O at the end says O. So we have oi, s, a, n, o. Oisano. Oisano. I have a good feeling about this one. Go ahead and try it, you guys. Okay? Yeah. Allergies are going crazy over here in California. Okay, so we have our OI that says oi. Now this O says ah. If I can not sneeze here for the next couple minutes. This O says ah because of those 2 consonants that are after it. And then O at the end says O. So we have oi, m, a, d, o. Oimado. Oimado. Let me know how you did on oimado. I like 4 and 4. I knew you would. Yay, Daryl. That's amazing. Yay, anonymous attendee. Feel free to put your name in there so I can see who I'm talking to. Oh, that's great news. Yay. 70%. That's a solid B. That's a solid B right there. B's should be celebrated, right? Okay, so we have learned that, you can see my crying eyes. I'm not sad. It's just allergies. We have learned today that OI says oi, and you'll see it at the beginning and middle of words, never at the end. You've remembered, or you've learned for the first time, if this is your first time, that O says O if one of the next 2 letters is another vowel. If not, it says ah. OA says O. O, consonant, final silent E, that O says O. Final O. If O is the last letter, it says O. If O is almost to the end of a longer word and there's a consonant after it, it says changes to the schwa sound and says That's a lot. That's a lot of information about O. And if it is just starting to be recognizable, celebrate. That is amazing. That is such good news. All of that new information is now beginning to be knowledge that you will be able to have in your knowledge bank forever. That is good news. Have a wonderful rest of your night, everybody. I hope to see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, everyone.